I'm Dr. Mark Lobanoff here at OVO LASIK and Lens, and today I had the distinct pleasure of trying a brand new microscope, the Aventa. And things that I like about the Aventa, I love innovative products. This is really a great microscope. First and foremost, it's got to have good visualization. The optics have to be crisp, sharp, clear, and it is. It passed that test very easily. Colors were true. The red reflex was beautiful. So every time I needed it, I could capture that red reflex just the way I wanted to. Very easy to adjust the tilt so that if a patient's head happens to be moved a certain way, we can still pick up that red reflex very easily. Controls are intuitive, typical foot pattern to driving the scope, which was great. Some really unique features. One of the best features is, unlike most microscopes that have multiple lights, at least 2, sometimes 3 different lights that are providing the coaxial illumination, this microscope is different. And rather than have a small filament generating that light, this actually has a little bit larger light, and only one. And that does a couple different things. First of all, by not having a single filament there, there's not a single area of the retina that's receiving all the light intensity or more light intensity than the rest of the retina. And what that transitioned to is a little bit less photosensitivity for the patients. Still a bright light source, but less of that photosensitivity, less of that cringing when I first brought the light onto the patient. But the thing I really loved about it is I could use the patient to find the visual axis. And the reason for this is, if we see in this patient's image here, this light right here, that is the first Purkinje image. And I could center that absolutely perfectly on the center of the PanOptix lens here. And so for centration purposes, it was really great. If I've got 2 different coaxial lights and I ask the patient to look at one, invariably they're looking at the one I don't want them to, and I just find it's hard to use a Purkinje image to center a lens with multiple light sources. Here with a single light source, it was easy. And I used the digital marking microscope from Alcon to help center this. So the Argos will pick up the visual axis. We use this technology, we have an overlay, and it shows me with a crosshair where that visual axis is. What was amazing is the crosshair for the center of the visual axis from the DMM perfectly matched this light source. So conceivably in the future, I might be able to get rid of this, which is great. Now I kept it on here to show you that this microscope is actually very versatile. So my partner here, he likes to operate with traditional oculars. No problem, you can attach traditional oculars here. I wanted to put this microscope through its paces, and so we hooked it up to my Ingenuity 3D heads-up display, and we also connected it to the digital marking microscope. Works great, but if you don't have all that stuff, the beauty of the scope is it's very versatile, and you can work with really any system that you want. Ergonomically, it was very comfortable. I like the sleeker profile. It's taking up less space here in the room. We actually started asking, and it turns out they actually have a ceiling mount. So we may end up, as we get this scope, using the ceiling mount to give ourselves just even a little bit more room out here. But in its current mobile stand, easy to mobilize, easy to move around. Really just a really nice, thoughtful design. And then you've got a control panel here, which is intuitive, easy to use, but you can also control illumination levels here on my foot pad, which I like because I tend to be a control freak. I like to do that for myself. But all in all, really very impressed with this scope. I mean, this scope has beautiful optics, beautiful color saturation. I really enjoyed using it today, and I've been told it's going to come out at a very reasonable price, which has me very interested in this. So worth a look if you're in the market for a microscope. Thanks.